Black Widow is a very special film for me because it is the first modern day film I have reviewed on this channel in over a year, and of course that means I was very excited about seeing it in cinemas. So, I'm Tommy Bow from Move Rewind, and without further ado, let's get into it. Black Widow was released in 2021. It was directed by Cate Shortland. It stars Scarlett Johansson in the main role, and it is the first instalment of Marvel's Phase 4. And there was a lot of anticipation going into this film because, of course, people have been asking for a Black Widow solo film since she first appeared way back in Iron Man 2, which was released in 2010. So it only took 11 years for them to finally release a Black Widow solo film. And honestly, I thought this was a decent film. It has strong acting and brilliant action scenes. There are going to be spoilers in this review, so if you haven't seen Black Widow yet, I would go and see it right now before you watch this review. We learn more about Black Widow's backstory in this film, which is what you would expect. It is a prequel after all. Do we learn as much as I would have wanted? Not really. I would have liked to have seen more of Black Widow training up to be the incredible spy we know her as today. That's not really covered in this film, so that was a little bit of a disappointment. Yelena, which is Black Widow's kind of sister, she's an amazing character. Honestly, my favourite in this film. She's very, very funny, and her backstory and her story arc is really, really strong. I really loved her character. The other members of Black Widow's so-called family, it does work well. They have a good family dynamic. I just wish that there were more scenes with them all together. There is a brilliant scene, one of my best scenes in the movie, of them sitting down having dinner and all interacting with another. That's done really well. I just wish that we had more scenes like that so we could really put them together as a firm family unit. They fall just a little bit short in this film. And Dreykov, the main villain, is surprisingly a really good villain. I really thought he was an intimidating presence and he provided a challenge, and he's one of the more memorable MCU villains, I do have to say. So overall, I would give character development in this film an 8 out of 10 because for the most part it is okay. I really like Yelena. I just wish that they did a bit more backstory on Black Widow, and that they provided the family in this film with just a bit more screen time. Scarlett Johansson gives a strong performance as Black Widow. She's really well suited to that role, and she's had quite a while now to develop her performance, so she portrays the character very well. However, she is not the standout. I actually think she is overshadowed by Florence Pugh, who portrays Yelena. She's brilliant in this film. Very, very funny. There's a number of jokes that she gives where I'm sitting there laughing, and also there's a lot of emotion to her performance as well. You can tell she was really invested in this role, and it pays off. I would love to see Yelena return to the MCU because Pugh is a really great actor, and I would love to see more of her work in the Marvel films. Rachel Weisz and David Harbour as the other members of Black Widow's so-called family, they are okay. They're well suited to their roles. Just wish that they were in it a bit more. Could have had some more screen time there, and then they would have been more memorable. And Winston as Dreykov. The reason Dreykov is one of the more memorable MCU villains is because of Winston's performance. He just has this creepy vibe to him which makes Dreykov really intimidating, so I think that works very well. Overall, I would give the performances a 9 out of 10 because I can't really falter any of them. They're all strong performances. I just wish with some of them we got to see more of them on screen for longer, because then I think they would have been more memorable. One aspect of this film which has appeared a bit more controversial in recent weeks are the effects. Now, Stephen Dorff, who appeared in the Blade films, have said he feels embarrassed for Scarlett Johansson because the film looks that bad. It looks like a video game. Honestly, I can't really understand where he's coming from. I thought the CGI was really good. You would expect it. It's a Marvel film. They invest a lot of money into them. So, of course, the effects are really strong. Also, there is a lot of great choreography in this film, which I really appreciated, especially the initial fight scene between Black Widow and Yelena. I thought that was a really good fight scene. I prefer practical effects and choreography over just loads of CGI. So I really liked this film for its emphasis on that. So overall, I would give the effects a 10 out of 10. I personally have no complaints. I think the CGI holds up really well and the choreography was a very nice touch. The plot is paced really well. It has a perfect balance of action scenes, emotional moments, as well as a lot of funny moments between Black Widow and Yelena. I really enjoyed the comedy in this film. The family dynamic is the most interesting aspect of this film. I just wish that there was a bit more time dedicated to it. Honestly, I feel that if there were, this film would stand out a lot more. The idea of the Red Room and Dreykov is a really interesting threat. It adds a degree of mystery and tension to this film. There feels like there are genuine stakes. And I'm not going to give away where the Red Room is located. However, I thought it was pretty clever. Once you realise it's one of those, oh yeah, that makes so much sense now. That's why no one can find it. So I think that works really well. The one problem I have with Black Widow in terms of its story is that I wish that they dedicated more time to Black Widow's backstory to see how Natasha became Black Widow, how she was able to get out of the Red Room the first time and turn her life around. I really wish that they had dedicated some time to showing that, because I think that could have worked really well. Overall, I would give the story and write it an 8 out of 10 because I really enjoyed this film. It flew by, which is always a good thing. I was kept on the edge of my seat in some scenes. The action scenes are really strong. I just wish that they went into Black Widow's backstory a bit more. So for this film's special recognition, I would just like to say that I was surprised by how much I had enjoyed this film, because of course I'd heard so many mixed opinions about Black Widow. Some people were saying it was the best thing ever. Other people were saying, oh, it's just feminist propaganda. Honestly, I really enjoyed it. I thought it was about a female character, so of course that means they were going to show a strong female. I had no problem with that. I thought Black Widow was really entertaining. If this is Scarlett Johansson's last role as Black Widow, I think it's a good send-off. I think she invested a lot into it, and I think now, after 11 years, she's ready to move on. So I think this was a good send-off for her character. Also, I really like that this film was set just after Civil War. It makes sense. Now we know what happened to Black Widow in between Civil War and Avengers Infinity War. And the inclusion of Thunderbolt Ross I thought was really good. William Hurt is an amazing actor anyway. However, I always like Marvel films when they bring back certain characters and have them make cameo appearances in these films. I think that worked really well. It made it feel like it was set in the same universe, which is a really good thing. Overall, I would give this film special recognition an 8 out of 10 because I really enjoyed this film a lot more than I thought I would based on other people's opinions. And that just shows you sometimes you just got to go in to see a film without having anyone else influence you. You just got to go in and make up your own mind. So in conclusion, Black Widow has strong performances, with the standout being Florence Pugh in the role of Yelena. It has some thrilling action scenes and well-placed and intriguing plot. Therefore, Black Widow gets a very well-deserved 43 out of 50, which gives it a grade 2 ranking. Honestly, if this is Scarlett Johansson's last film in the role of Black Widow, then I think it is a very suitable send-off for an amazing actor who has made the character her own. So thanks for watching, guys. I really do hope that you enjoyed my Black Widow movie review. Please remember to like, comment and subscribe in order to receive great and maybe even improved quality content in the future. And I would just like to say it was so great to go to the cinema again after such a long time. I'm going to try and do it more often. Maybe we can review some films that are released in 2021, some present day reviews. That will be awesome to do. I'm really looking forward to doing that. Next week I will be releasing a new review, a new series review that I'm starting. I'm not going to give away what it is. However, I hope you're looking forward to it. I know I'm looking forward to making it, and I will see you in another one. See ya.